Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Nokia. This was a stock analysis request from one of the followers, and I wanted to let you know that anyone can make these requests and I will most likely cover them, especially if there is an actionable trade setup to follow. And yeah, just as yesterday, a heads up, there may be a bit of time before I actually get through to all the requests because there has been a bit of a backlog building in the background. And yeah, it's just been a busy period. Now, to get to this chart, I am tracking on the larger time frame a larger ABC movement for which we would have a more bullish scenario. This is a more bullish interpretation that would allow us to track a larger uptrend. Now, I want to make it absolutely clear it is not needed for this structure to unfold as an ABC movement, but this is what I am tracking as the primary scenario right now. And realistically, yes, this could turn into a larger 1-2 setup, but also, I want to remind you that we did not manage to hold here an internal area of support for this correction, and we need to be aware that there are more bearish interpretations that could realistically take us even to new all-time lows and even build here a potential 5-wave move to the downside, and this is basically what we are tracking here in the yellow scenario, where we have a resistance area between the $3.5 level all the way up to the $12.1 level. And while a break here above the 61.8% retracement would be a good signal for the long-term health of the chart, it does not necessarily make it impossible for us to still follow in a larger structure to the downside. Sure, it wouldn't be within a larger 5-wave move that would be forming in this area that would suggest a 3-wave correction and then another 5-wave move to the downside, but it does not prevent this stock from forming a larger ABC movement or even other types of corrections to new lows. Now, we will be tracking if we manage to break this level, a different area of resistance. There are still several headwinds on this chart, but this is probably the first one we need to watch. Now, in the shorter time frame, I am tracking a more bullish interpretation that could allow even a break basically above the 61.8% retracement in a larger 5-wave move to the upside in this wave C. And in this idea, I am tracking an ending diagonal within the wave C where we have already completed here a wave 1. This is in an ABC movement. And then we have here a wave 2 correction, which has pushed perfectly basically into the 78.6% retracement, the last level of support. And then we are tracking in the wave 3 to the upside a larger ABC structure that could still continue this uptrend. Now, an ideal target for such a movement would be here the 138.2% extension of the wave 1 that would be at around the $23.8 level, yeah? And since on this chart we have so many possible interpretations, I do want to make it once again very clear this is not the only scenario that could work out. This could form a larger ABC structure as well in the end, in which case we would have here a 5-wave move to the upside instead of a 3-wave move, but right now this is the focus. We have an ABC structure that we are tracking, and internally here in the smaller time frame within the wave C we would like to form a 5-wave move to the upside, and in fact not only like, we would even expect to form here a 5-wave move to the upside within the wave C, for which we have a more specific count that we are tracking. So here we may have a wave 1 complete, a wave 2 in, and now we would be tracking a wave A complete, a wave B that could be complete, and a wave C to complete the larger structure within this wave 3. Now, this is not the only way this structure could unfold, but if this really is the 1-2 setup tracked correctly, yeah, if it is not a larger 1-2 setup, which I will showcase in a moment, but here an ideal target for the overall wave 3 would be the 138.2% extension of the wave 1, which is at the $9.4 level, after which we expect a wave 4 correction and a 5th wave still to form. Now, this would be overall expected to form and reach within this wave C the ideal target of the larger wave 3. Now, if we don't manage to do that in a very direct fashion, yeah, by building just this wave C, sure, we may witness a larger extension where this could be a larger wave A, we get another wave B, and then a wave C to the upside that would get to the ideal target. It is not impossible for such a structure to develop and instead basically continue this wave 3 after the wave C is complete. This would be even preferred if we don't manage to get here to the ideal target. Now, internally within this structure, I am looking for a couple of counts. So if this really is the wave A top and we are in a wave B, I have here the area of support between the $6.2 level all the way down to the 78.6% retracement at the $4.7 level. As long as we hold here the area of support, we can still look for a wave C still to come, but I do want to caution you, this is not a high probability area, because I could also very easily consider this to be a larger wave 1 that has only completed just now in this ABC movement. This is a very plausible interpretation, in which case, in a larger correction within a wave 2, we would need to allow a much deeper retracement. It is unfortunate, but this is what we have to deal with when tracking diagonal patterns. And while I cannot even outrule here the possibility of an impulse to be forming, it is not necessarily a preferred interpretation for me, because I could also very easily be tracking this as an ABC in of itself, and then, yeah, basically there are many options, and we need to be still very flexible here on this chart. Now, if we want to look here internally, I could argue that this correction within the wave B is complete. We don't really need any additional lows, as we have already formed a 3-wave move to the downside. We have gotten into the area of support, and we have seen already a more substantial reaction to the upside. Now, we did even reach here the 100% extension of the initial wave to the downside, so we have achieved the ideal target. The correction has formed a decent pattern for this structure. And then to the upside in a wave C, we can track here another 5-wave move internally, but yeah, it is on such a small time frame that I wouldn't want to get into too many details within this area. So basically, I could be tracking this as a 1, 2, and then a 3rd wave complete for an initial 5-wave move to the upside, where I could see here a wave 4 correction and then a 5th wave. This would be an interesting area to look for if you absolutely want to look for a position on this chart. Now, this is assuming we have already topped within this internal wave 3, but this is not necessarily a high probability pattern either, as these structures are quite fragile on this time frame. And for what we have here the area of support between the $6.5 level all the way down to the $6.3 level at the 61.8% retracement. And for now, I will refrain from further continuation here in the smaller time frame. If we want, we can have a larger area of resistance for basically a reset here within the wave B. Yeah, nothing too special, but we have here the levels between the $6.7 all the way up to the $7.6 level, into which we basically pushed perfectly in the first level of resistance before getting our rejection. So technically, for a larger ABC movement within an orange interpretation and the reset of the larger wave B, we have formed sufficient waves, we have enough data and enough structure to consider this movement to the upside complete in a wave B. Yeah, something like a larger ABC movement could still come, yeah, a WXY, a larger one could still come. And this is basically it in terms of what we are tracking on a smaller time frame. And then from a larger area perspective, yeah, on a larger scale, on a larger time frame, we can continue again to track here a larger uptrend to be still forming, but I would absolutely need to break here the 61.8% retracement to remove the possibility of a larger 5-wave move to the downside. And if we don't manage to hold here the last level of support, the 78.6% retracement, and we are looking here at a potential reset within the wave 2, I would rather consider that this uptrend has failed to continue and that we should be prepared for even further continuation lower. And for now, you have all the levels. This is the trade setup. These are the levels. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.